We are grateful for your time. And just to start, with the opportunity for people to hear from the best leader I know, what qualities do you most look for in a leader, and what qualities do you most value?
When I was a child, growing up under my strict father and at a naval academy, we were taught that telling the truth was the most important. Because at the naval academy, they used to teach us that your subordinates won't trust you if they know you lie or mistake the truth. And my daddy would punish me most severely if I ever denied doing something that he knew I did or told a falsehood about one of my sisters or so forth. So telling the truth was very important too.
You have led at obviously the highest levels and in so many spaces. What encouragement would you give to Habitat leaders who are trying to affect change in their communities with never enough resources and in a tough environment right now for housing? Any advice you would give them?
Well, one of the best advices I ever got was from my high school teacher, Miss Julia Coleman, who told me you must accommodate changing times, which all of us have to do, but cling to principles that never change. And each one of us during our lifetime, sometimes evolutionary, sometimes in a revolutionary way or instantaneously, decides on a principle in our life that we're going to maintain. I think one of the most profound changes in my life was when I decided to put my religious beliefs into practice and combine my efforts with Habitat for Humanity. And that's the best way I know to treat everybody the same, and also to help poor people and to show the essence of leadership.
What first led you to Habitat, and maybe even more so, what keeps you coming back?
Well, I think the thing that led us to Habitat was just proximity, because in America, it's just 9 miles from Plains is where Habitat had headquarters, and so we had a lot of Habitat volunteers and executives to come over to my Sunday school classes at Maranatha Baptist Church, and I got to know them and admired them, and I learned slowly and surely what they wanted to do and what they were actually doing. And I saw then that the best way for me to try to put my religious faith into practical benefit to others was through Habitat. We all are taught with a common commitment that we should treat everybody equally and try to help the poor people who are in need to have a better way to life. And the best way for a poor person to have a better way of life is to get out of a substandard housing and to be able to live and to raise a family within a decent home. And that's what Habitat has done very, very successfully. I think if I had to just say one thing out of many, it would be the emotion that we feel at the end of every Habitat project when we see a family who has lived in a destitute housing project and paid high rent and been ashamed of, children have been ashamed to come home and bring friends and see them have a decent and attractive home. And I think this has been the main thing that's kept us coming back. It's just a matter of seeing in a very practical way how our small effort personally and the leadership God has granted us to attract other people to join us and to see the gratification there. I've never been to a Habitat project yet where when I came home afterwards, I didn't feel that I got a lot more out of it than I put into it. And that, I think almost every Habitat volunteer that I've talked to says the same thing. If they don't agree with me, they probably don't talk to me. But yeah, I think that's the main thing. You get so much out of Habitat. Everybody's working hard, and some rich, some poor, some expert builders, some novices, but everybody working on the same project. And seeing the goal achieved is another great thing. So I think that that has been a very gratifying thing for me to see how so many people around the world now benefit from the dedication of, I guess, millions of of Habitat volunteers who put in money and who put in time and effort and dreams and hopes and so forth and prayers to make Habitat a success. And that cumulative wave of beneficent feeling appeals to individuals and to the collective group that are involved in it.
Thank you so much for the inspiration you are to me personally, to the Habitat family, and to the world, and so desperately in need of role models. But thank you for your continued service.
Well, Jonathan, I think you're an inspiration to me too, and I might say all of the affiliates and the leaders around the world, including the United States, of course, also a great inspiration to me.
Amen.
Thank you.
Thank you, President Carter.